What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. Mate, 20 seconds away from a really good result. I never thought I'd ever sit here going 2-1.
Hey.
Losing to. I've never wanted to lose 2-1 so bad.
Well, I mean, first, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and drop some comments in about
subscribe,
this one.
Put all your thoughts down below. I mean, right, come on.
What do we think about the result?
Positive, right, mate? Mate, that
positives first, yes. Because this is how I feel on the inside.
Yeah. Other than Marcus Rashford, that was one of the doggedest, most hard-working performances I've seen from any Villa team against a team, by the way, that, and I know everyone goes on about the Premier League being like the best league in the world, but that's the best team we've played all season by an absolute mile.
Oh, mate. Well, I watched Paris against Liverpool, right? I think they upped their levels. I think they were better. I think I haven't seen a team press like that ever. Even the great Barcelona sides, they were for 90 minutes.
Completely suffocated you. Like any time we got the ball, and we're very good at playing out from the back. Very good. We do it week in, week out, and it's always a bit nail biting. And we did break their press every now and again. We did get a bit of success.
Well, mate, the goal was brilliant.
The goal was incredible, mate. John McGinn.
Yeah, John McGinn straight away. Because I think he hasn't started the last couple of games, right? So you expect how's he going to perform? But my word, what a captain's performance! From the whole game, mate, he just run his nuts off. And that's all I ever. That's what you need. You need if everyone did that, right? It's a different game, and that's what we've all got to do next week. But like you say, for the goal, he just reads the game brilliantly, intercepts, and then his distribution over to Rashford. It was just a brilliant goal. Good. It really was a great goal.
Yeah,
great counter-attacking goal.
I will say, obviously, I slagged Rashford off in terms of his effort off the ball. On the ball, brilliant, he looked very lively and he looked really dangerous, and they were scared of him because he ran at them and because he took them on, and that's the point. And like I was saying to you off air, I was saying that it was actually kind of refreshing to watch PSG and their wingers, because every time they got the ball, they take the man on, which you just don't get anymore in the Premier League. Players, they go to take the man and they do a couple of step overs and then they just play it back to the midfield.
It's all about possession. Yeah, PSG and about that. They want to get at you, and then because once they get in behind you, they said it in commentary yesterday. They want to play through you because they haven't got an out-and-out centre forward, so they want to they basically want to beat their man, get to the byline, cut it back, or attack you and get a shot away. Their wingers are basically their strikers, and I mean, let's talk about the levels of their goals yesterday, mate. That is
this is the thing, man. I'm just like, you know what, like you can't count their goals. You can't count. You shouldn't count. They shouldn't count. They're just undefendable. You can't. That first goal, mate, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
What are we meant to do with that?
Well, I mean, if you're being picky, you can say he beats Rodgers too early. But like you said off air, Rodgers leans into him to put him off balance, and I think that actually helps him whip the ball.
He's falling over when he hits it for fuck. And it takes a hell of a shot for Emery to not even dive for it.
Yeah.
So the amount the ball's obviously moved in the air.
If we're being hypercritical, right? If you look at the replay to that goal, Rodgers gets beaten to his, and Emery, I think he's slightly unsighted, so he doesn't see the movement. So he takes a step to his right, and then he takes back to his left, and he's in the middle of the goal. And the shot's away, then it's already in. Now, if he has a better view of the player, he probably just takes a step to his left, and he can probably attempt to save it. Maybe he saves it. So, but again, hypercritical, not taking anything away from
Emery
that.
Emery had a really good game. He had a really good game.
This is why you don't wind up the French, mate. You don't turn up on a plane with a hat that's got like he's not with Argentina. We haven't got a Messi.
Mate, he loves it though. That's exactly what he plays better when they're all like.
Look, I'm not. I would never have Emery any other way, mate. But obviously, he roiled the crowd. They booed him every time he had the ball. They were loving it. The fact that he's conceded 3 goals.
At the time, I haven't watched it back because I just can't put myself through it again. But at the time, I remember in the first goal, I was questioning what Tielemans was, because Tielemans was on the edge of our box, and for some reason, he retreated back into the box, whereas he would have actually been the best placed man to try and attack Doué and block the shot. And again, it's like hypercritical. It's split second moments. It's like, but that goal's ridiculous. Their second goal.
Do you know what?
Sorry, no. The second goal is even like.
Oh, here we go. Right there.
Oh, mate. Right. I'm really angry. I'm really angry.
James is angry and I'm not. This is brilliant. Come on, let's get into it, James.
Now, is this now? I think we were saying. I think you're right, though. Actually, you said that he this is a frame before he shoots.
Yeah.
And I think it maybe is because he takes one more step and he hits it near post, doesn't he?
So he rolls it over and then he takes another touch, and he's more or less when he hits it, I think
where that player is. Yeah. So because looking at this, because looking at that, I'm like, it's fucking offside.
Yeah.
So tell us in the comments if this is right or wrong, because if he's hitting it here, that is offside because the Emery cannot see it.
He's in the direct line of Emery, isn't he? So, but it wasn't even checked. And now, while I'm critical of VAR in the Champions League, it tends to be a little bit better. And so I don't know. I didn't recognise this in the play. This is something that I saw afterwards. And but like you say, that's still there. Like if that's when he shoots, I don't know if he takes another touch, but I mean, I think that's where he does shoot from because it goes in like an arrow off the post.
You'd also expect if he was onside, you'd expect Emery to be kicking off about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And none of the Villa players appealed it, mate. None of them were screaming. You know, the players are kind of.
I don't know. I mean, it's just so frustrating. And again, it's basically one of those goals where it's like he puts it anywhere. He's literally put it in the only place, and he's not going to get it. Like he's off the post.
Yeah. No, it's a great strike, mate.
You have to score off the bar and off the post to get past Emery.
But it's the strike of the ball, mate. It's brilliant. You know, there's been a lot of talk this year about the Premier League being not a very good standard of football because you know you haven't got flair players anymore, players not beating players. But if that's just the Premier League, mate, we have to look at Spain and France then because you've got Lamine Yamal ripping it up for Barcelona and Rafinha. And I watched the highlights of that game too. Both teams, Paris and Barcelona, are easily the best sides in this competition at the moment. They just go and attack. They do. They use these players. They get the ball to them. They go right. Just go and try and beat your man.
Well, that's the difference. But that's the difference, right? Because that's what teams used to do, and they get picked off by teams who want to keep the ball and have possession and like try and like just wear you down almost. Whereas PSG do both. They attack you like crazy. When they have the ball, you can't get the ball. We didn't 11 minutes in, we'd had 25% of the possession, which means we'd had the ball for about 2.5 minutes of 11 minutes, which is and probably half of that was throw-ins.
I think that's being generous, mate, if I'm honest.
It's crazy. There was I remember we get to 10 minutes and I was like, we hadn't touched the ball.
I think it was after the second goal they put the possession, the passes up, you know, because the Champions League.
It was 401 to about 110.
It was ridiculous. And then even as that went on, I think they showed it again 5 minutes later, and it was 660 odd for them, and we had 170 odd. And I was like, Jesus Christ! Like you're just going to run out of steam. I cannot emphasise how drilled Paris are because. And this is why I've got to give credit to Villa of how hard they worked. You know, it
was almost like, and you wouldn't usually say this about a team. You wouldn't say a team loses 2-1 and it was like a defensive masterclass.
Yeah.
But that's what it felt like. Like, as in, there was to be fair, it was weird because when I was watching it, it was horrible to watch. But I don't feel like I was sitting there going, "Oh my god, they're going to score every time they were coming through." I was like, no. We're restricting them to long-range shots mainly. Where they got joy was usually on the transition, right? Like it was when we were slightly out of position. And I think that second goal came because I think, and obviously I always try and guess what Emery's tactics are, and I usually get them wrong. It felt like he'd said in the second half, get into them in the midfield because that's where we had success for our goal. Get into try and press a little bit higher, a little bit more, And in doing that, being a little bit more positive, we ended up leaving a little bit more space behind. And that's and they scored. And this is going to be the problem with the return leg, right? Is the impetus is on us to push up. The crowd will be up. The crowd will be urging us on. And they probably will. They probably will score, and the tie will be over. But it's so frustrating. Honestly, the last 30 seconds, I was just like screaming at TV, like, "Come on, just fucking get over the line!"
Mate, I sank to the floor when the third goal went in because only because I thought we'd probably done enough to earn that 2-1 result. You know, I think we'd played well enough. We'd defend like. It was quite clear in the first half what we were setting up to do. We almost slipped into a back five, keep the middle really tight and narrow, keep them out wide because they haven't got anyone in the box. So once they cut inside, it was kind of hit with 3 or 4 bodies. The first goal was just that. I think you mentioned there about Tielemans. Like he cuts inside and then we don't close the space down, and ultimately it's a goal. But I think again, like I can't criticise us because I haven't seen a team. I haven't seen a team like Paris with that level of pressure. Like you've got like who's the guy who scored their first goal again? I never remember his name.
Oh shit!
Douay. Yeah, that's it. I always call him a Bouet for some reason.
It's the second one I can never remember the name of. I know he's amazing.
Comments.
Kitchen slapper. Kitchen slapper.
Kitchen slapper. That's what we call it.
It's like kitschy slappy.
Kitschy slapper, sleepy slapper. Right, sleep flapper. Right, but there were even these Douay is a 19-year-old kid, and like he's a flair player. But if we're talking about comparison to Rashford and him, mate, the way he got back, right, like when he lost the ball,
oh my god,
mate, I'm just going. How do you drill that into 11 players that are literally superstars and particularly young players? That's incredible coaching, mate, because I know Rashford's up in the air, and he on the ball, brilliant. But if we're going to seriously get something out of next week's game, our work rate has got to match theirs. It has to. Like it's the only way you beat them.
Well, it did defensively. It just didn't. The thing is it's just so hard because, like I said, I feel like the second we started trying to press them in any way, it just left huge holes. And we ended up going, okay, no, that's not the thing to do. And we ended up sitting back again.
And that's what they're incredibly good at. Like I'm not saying this is an easy fix. I just think it's one of those where if we're looking at 2 football teams going at each other, and you're always going to have a disparity in quality. That happens throughout football. You've got good teams. So it's the reason why lower league teams often go on and beat big teams, because at the core of it, for me, is the basics, right? You set up and you work harder than the team that's got it. Now, they've got better players than we have. They've got better attacking players. So we've got to work harder. We've got to work harder. We've got to run. And you just do it into like people like Rashford. And I know you could see it towards the end, we're tired. You've just got to, okay, that's when you make your subs. I'm not sure when we made the subs yesterday, we did them at the right time. I'm not sure.
No, but again, we also we did that thing again where we made like the 3 changes, right? And I was just like, I don't think it needed the 3 changes. Like, I know he was like, legs, and he put Maatsen on. And I'm like, I just don't think, because the way we were playing, it wasn't about, I don't feel like it was about shuttle running. It's not like we were just running up and down the pitch and Inyo was like going up and down. And by the end, we were playing with a back 6. We had McGinn at left back. So you didn't need Maatsen. So I was kind of sitting there going, you know what?
Maatsen came on and played left wing, didn't he?
What's that?
Maatsen came on and played left wing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I said to you off air, I said, I actually think that JJ was the wrong sub. I actually think he was giving us a decent outlet. He actually played quite well. He was getting the ball. He was running us up the pitch. He was getting us up the pitch, getting things out for throws. He was drawing fouls. He was doing all sorts, and he could. And he was visibly pissed off when he came off as well. He went into the stands. And he was really annoyed. And like you said, Asensio almost scored potentially. Like he had a shot that deflected, but
mate, I thought it was in when he hit it, because he hit it first time. It was good. Like, we had moments in the second half where we got in. Like, there was a time when there was a ball over the top to Kamara, and he just flicked out his right foot, and he just missed the ball. And I thought if he'd have got that, he's probably goes.
Yeah,
you know
that was
a
really good. That was a really good ball over the top, wasn't it? Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did really well with that one. And actually, Torres had a really good header opportunity as well. He was on the edge of the box.
He just got underneath the ball. I thought it was a brilliant ball.
It's a bit strange. Tell you what's strange. What's really strange is when you're watching a game in a stadium like that with so many fans, they're so loud and everything. It's really strange when the away team gets a chance and there's just like no noise.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like nothing happened. It's just like, oh, cool. And I was sitting there going, it was really hard to kind of because you can't hear like or anything.
Yeah,
it's like it's just
definitely silent.
It's just Paris fans banging their drum and doing their or whatever the hell they're doing. You know,
my beautiful wife got very, very frustrated by that noise. She watched it. She watched the game with me, and she was like, "Who is that? What is that? What is that noise?" Obviously, got the guy on the megaphone getting all the ultras up, and that's all you can hear. She's like, "What is the beat? This is driving me nuts." I could see her face just screwing up. She's going, "It's horrible! Stop it!"
But anyway,
that's desired effect. They're trying to put us off, and it's working.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing I wanted to get up is just if I can. I forgot to add this to this. Let's just watch this.
Win the next week, I believe. We compete fantastic, and we were close to get good results. At the end, with this goal, it's still more or less the same because we.
By the way, hopefully this doesn't get blocked. But obviously, he said there next week it's more or less the same because he still believes we will win.
Win the next week, I believe.
We'll win next week. Come on, Emery.
Come on. Hopefully, we can feel there.
Just like Emery, and I think I sent you this picture so we can get that up, mate. I'm a believer, mate. I'm a believer, mate.
Getting better than today, and as well collectively try to have our moment more than we had today. But of course, they are favorite, still being favorite. They show their power. They show as well their individual qualities. But we are here and enjoying, and I am very proud of the players.
Yeah, what a legend.
Mate,
he's completely right there. Like,
if he thinks we can do it, we can do it. I can't wait for the game next week. We've got nothing to lose. This is what I'm talking about, mate. I'm a believer.
Sorry, mate. Did he say this after or something in a post-match?
No, I don't think so, mate. I found this on the internet and I was like, I'm trying to be optimistic. I think we've got a massive mountain to climb. But
of course we have. Mate, it's not a mountain. We've got to launch ourselves into space.
Yeah.
We've got to jump on a rocket. We've got to be hanging onto that rocket like absolutely mental. Yeah, exactly. We've got to go stratospheric to have any chance. And obviously they're not Celtic, right? And they're not Forest. But if we can come out and just hit them, and they just don't know what's hit them, and we get a goal within that first 10 minutes, and the crowd gets up, and we try and you never know. But I just think the higher we push up, the more they'll get more chances.
I agree with that. It's pointless starting the game on the back foot, trying to maintain them. Like, we've got to go. I'd rather us go for the first 10 minutes, try and get a goal and see what happens. And if they break and do us, that's going to happen.
And if we lose 3-0, but I do think it's one of those games where the crowd will be up the whole game. I think the whole thing will be. It will just be about us getting behind the team and being like, look, we've done something amazing this season. We have managed to get to the quarterfinals. We competed in the first leg. We almost came back to Villa Park with something really tangible within punching distance. We're now kind of fingertips reaching, stretching as far as we can distance. So, I mean, because the thing is they're going to score, right? So you've basically got to score 3 goals to try and take it to extra time. It's just unlikely. Well, it was highly unlikely. But it's just going to be a great occasion. Like, I feel like the fans will be up for it. It'll be very difficult when they have the ball for 87 minutes of the match.
Yeah, but, of course. Look, I think we've just got to go into it because anything can happen in 90 minutes, mate. Like Bangladesh said on TalkSport this morning that it takes maybe a red card or something. Just to change the course of the game. It's 90 minutes. If we can get an early goal, like we just said, you just never know. It's always we need a little bit of luck. It's just bits of buts and maybes. But if we can ultimately just, go for it. I think that's what we've got to do because we're going out anyway if we don't. But do you know what I mean? If we don't go for it,
we might as well go. We might as well go out with some kind of pride. And I think I think obviously we can't play the same as what we did away from home, but if we can put in the same amount of effort and the same amount of like competitive performance, then we can go out with our heads held high and be like, look, we made it to the quarterfinals, we gave it our best, and we've probably gone out to one of the finalists, team who potentially could win it. And it's just it is they are like one of the best. They're just the best team. Honestly, I haven't seen a team do that to Villa under Emery. I have not seen a team do that.
No, I agree.
It was just suffocating. Every time we got the ball, I was getting frustrated. I was like, why can't we keep the ball? And then you kind of watching it going, we're not making mistakes. They're just...
Mate, they said it in the commentary. Rio Ferdinand said it. He said Villa were just being suffocated, and they were brilliant. Like you cannot take away from PSG how well they played. Like they were the better team, and we defended really well to a certain point, and we worked hard. Now we didn't. Again, bar Rashford for me. I think Rashford great on the ball, but needed to work harder. And I know I sound like a broken record, but if he starts next week, he's got to work hard. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts Watkins next week and brings Rashford on. If we can, because I think everyone's got to look at what McGinn did in that game. And I would, if I was Emery, I'd be taking today in the dress in training. I'd be looking at the video, going, "Look, this is a level we've got to get to. That's where we had joy when we pressed and we worked this hard. Like it's difficult to do for 90 minutes. Just because the other thing is, we haven't played a team like that. We're not playing teams like that week in, week out. So the level is not there. Our level is not there. Do you know what I mean? And that is,
and obviously, we do play a higher level than the French league in general.
Yeah,
but I just feel like I said, PSG, they were the best team I've seen us play all season by a mile. I don't, Man City, Liverpool, like Chelsea, but all those teams, any team in the top 10, I don't think touch PSG. Like they played Liverpool off the park, and Liverpool have played most teams off the park.
But it's worth noting in both games, mate.
Yeah, in both legs, and that is the thing. That is the thing, right? Like, we seem to think it's going to be different at home, and it might be.
It might be.
I wonder if he will finally start that front four you've been calling out for.
Oh, I'd love it, mate. I'd love it.
If he could put Rashford on that left wing, and Rashford is just like, right, all you got to do, hang out there on that left wing, give us that out ball, like cause them all kinds of issues down their right hand side. Watkins hovering around the middle, coming deep, trying to press. Asensio sitting in there, also waiting to pull the strings a bit. Maybe doesn't start Tielemans and it's Onana and Kamara. It's a bit more solid in that bottom back two. I don't know. I actually thought Onana looked all right, by the way, when he came on.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Did that little marauding run, didn't he?
What we need is, mate, the whole team, because this is what we talked about this, that front four we've discussed, right? Asensio, Rashford, Rodgers and Watkins. It comes down to what work they can do defensively. And so we end up changing it. So I know we put Ramsey there because he does the running. Now, again, if yesterday proved anything, is that Paris team, every single player was busting a nut, like working their ass off. If someone was out of position, dropping. So what our next target for me, from Emery, going forward for the rest of this season and beyond for next season, is getting to that level where it doesn't matter who you play in position, like what the squad is. It's like there's a job to do. Like your job is to, like, for the front four is to attack, obviously. But if we're under the cosh, you've got to come back. You've got to get back, and it's fitness levels and it's work rate, and it's not even fitness levels, mate. They're fit enough to do it. It's whether they want to do it, and whatever Luis Enrique has done at PSG it's got everyone singing off the same song sheet, and then you've got quality players working that hard, and that is the recipe for success. Getting the quality players, the superstars, to do all the ugly stuff off the ball, and that's something that we haven't quite got yet. We're
getting it's so hard to get every player, like, because there are players who are just their moments players. Like you do just get those, and obviously PSG.
Yes, mate. You're getting me angry now, right? It's the basics. They get paid billions
of pounds. I know.
Just
I know.
90 minutes. Just run your ass off and do what you're supposed to do. Go up and down the pitch.
I know.
Like, these guys are fucking completing the bleep test, mate. They're athletes.
Hey, 10 of them did. 10 of them did. It's the thing. Okay, I'm just fed up of talking about PSG now. I just can't. I'm moving on. I'm just like done. I'm done with PSG.
I've got one last point. The other thing that goes against us for next week is the fact that they've got no game this weekend. They've got a full week's rest to come.
Oh yeah, they haven't they? Because they said on commentary. They said on commentary that they're playing this weekend, but it won't matter because they've won the league.
They did say that.
We read that they got it moved.
I'm sure they got it moved, and I could be wrong. Again, let us know in the comments if that's changed.
Yeah, let us know I'm sure they got it moved. But even if they haven't, they were saying, "Oh, they won the league, so they can make loads of changes. It doesn't really matter." But I think they want to finish the season unbeaten.
Yeah.
So they don't want much, do they? We'll do a preview for Southampton, which will come out probably tomorrow morning, I think. So just back to the Premier League. Fucking hell, back to the grind.
No rest for the wicked, mate.
Our players are gonna be fucked. For Saturday. Proper debt. Like they put everything in and that sucker punch at the end mentally is just draining.
It's a tough one.
I do worry about Southampton. He'll make changes. Of course he will, but like still our big players, that he won't change the ones that make a difference. And
Southampton just sacked their manager as well. They've got a new manager, haven't they?
Oh, fuck off, have they?
So new manager bounce, mate.
Hang on. Hasn't that happened 3 times, I think, this season now or something?
Yeah, David Moyes.
Everton, David Moyes. Who else?
Oh God, who was it? West Ham.
Oh yeah, fucking West Ham.
Potter.
And now, honestly, it's like teams wait to be playing Villa and then go, all right, chuck them now. Anyway,
hopefully we'll do what we did to Everton and we need to win. I mean, because again, mounting to climb next week. If we can beat Southampton, right back in the mix.
The thing that's nice, right? The thing that's nice is obviously we're not out of the Champions League yet.
No,
we're not out. So we have still got something to play for in it. Or even, like I said, a bit of pride. Draw the game. Draw or win the game. Don't lose the game at home. And you can say we've gone toe-to-toe with the best. And then we've got an FA Cup semi-final to look forward to.
Tickets on sale tomorrow from 9 a.m. Hey!
Big game! So we've got Crystal Palace in the FA Cup semi-final. So then potentially, if we can win that, we do have a
bogey
final.
Team.
Oh. And we've still got the Premier League where we are still fighting for something. So it's not like the Champions League was it. And now we're going out and that's that. It's the season over. It's just deflating. It's deflating the way it happened. I think if it was 3-1 earlier in the game, the fact it was literally
last kick of the game.
Basically the last kick of the game.
Yeah, it was. No, it's tough to take. I think hopefully, we go into that. For me, this week you go, okay, that's done with. We go into that to the Paris game next week just with nothing to lose. Like we've got nothing to lose, so regardless of what happens, we should play without any pressure, play with freedom, and see what happens. Whether we win it or lose it, right, and get hammered, it's fine, right? There's no shame in getting beaten by PSG in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, right? At our first attempt in 40 years, the fact we got to quarterfinals is amazing. But then, can we bring the focus back to the 2 things that we are fighting for: the FA Cup and the league position? Because if we can get one or either of those things, it's going to be a massively successful season.
Of course, this is what we were saying, right? It's either a historical season or it's a season of really close almost.
Yeah.
It's a season where we just didn't quite do it, and then it's like we've got to start all over again next season. We need to do something. We need to either get at least Europa League. And I know I'd love the Champions League. I'd love top 5. I'd love the top 5, but it's a big ask. But it is possible. A big ask. Or we've got to win the FA Cup.
Yeah. Look,
I'll take winning the FA Cup personally as well, by the way, because obviously you win a trophy and you qualify for the Europa League anyway. And then, mate, you know what we do next season? We go and fucking win that, and we get back in the Champions League.
Yes, mate. I think ultimately that's got to be our target, the FA Cup now. The league thing is difficult because there's Newcastle, Chelsea. It's tough. And we've got to play Newcastle and we've got to play City. So those 3 teams are the ones we're battling against. And Newcastle haven't got the distraction of anything else now. They're just focused on the league, and same with Chelsea.
They're like us. They're hitting form at the right moment.
And we've struggled against Newcastle in recent years, really. So I mean, that game will be the one. So if we can beat Southampton on Saturday, which I think we will, even with the change, I think we should beat Southampton. The Newcastle game, if we don't win that, I think the 5th place is over.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
there should be all guns on the FA Cup. All guns.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if you have anything else. You got any final thoughts? Gary's final thoughts.
Gary's final thoughts is this is my final thought, mate. I'm incredibly proud of him. Yesterday, I knew the game was going to be a difficult one, and I was super impressed with the application of the players. I couldn't have asked any more. They did exactly what they thought they could do, and we got so close. So I think we've got to take a lot of heart from that. And from 5 years ago, being relegation fodder to now, I've loved the experience. I've loved the experience.
Think about where we'll be in another 5 years, potentially.
Just got to keep what we've got, mate. We've got to keep what we've got in terms of the board and Emery. And I'm telling you, we're this close to pushing it. I just hope we do it. And like I say, that's my final thought. I'm hopeful. Up the Villa, right? I'm a little bit sad on the inside.
In the words of Emery Martinez, mate.
I'm a believer. Absolutely, mate. That's my final thought. I'm a believer.
Anyway, thanks everyone for joining. If you're new here, please do subscribe. Hit that little bell.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Hit that little bell. Hit the like. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Have we got any chance next week? What do we need to do to try and get some pride out of it? How are we going to do this weekend against Southampton? There will be a preview coming out probably tomorrow morning for that. So let us know, what you think. And we'll see you next time. Gaz, you going to sing us out? Are you going to do anything?
Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Nothing but love and peace.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.